Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahi Radhe Swapadanti Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavams Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatha Vikam Sativ Sadvaitam Savadutam Parikata Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devi Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lika Shri Vishaka Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanande Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shavadi Pashyata Deshatari Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauravanishri Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namaste Taptakanchana Gauranga Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Shri Jagannathaya Te Namah Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachana Samsundayate Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandamamadhamam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. We are reading from the sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, Ajamil delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. And we're supposed to start text 16 today. Haribol. Let us start. This is the Vishnu Duta speaking, right? Gurunam cha lagunam cha Guruni cha laguni cha Guruni cha Guruni cha Prayaschittani papana Jnanavoktani maharshibhi. Authorities, who are learned scholars and sages, have carefully ascertained that one should atone for the heaviest sins by undergoing a heavy process of atonement, and one should atone for lighter sins by undergoing lighter atonement. Chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, however, vanquishes the effects of all sinful activities, regardless of whether heavy or light. But in this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes an incident that took place when Samba was rescued from the punishment of the Kauravas. Samba fell in love with the daughter of Duryodhana. And since, according to Kshatriya custom, one is not offered a Kshatriya's daughter unless he displays his chivalrous valor, Samba abducted her. Consequently, Samba was arrested by the Kauravas. Later, when Lord Balaram came to rescue him, there was an argument about Samba's release. Since the argument was not settled, Balaram showed his power in such a way that all of the Hastinapur trembled and would have been vanquished as if by a great earthquake. Then the matter was settled, and Samba married Duryodhana's daughter. The purport is that one should take shelter of Krishna Balaram the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose protective power is so great that it cannot be equaled in the material world. However powerful the reactions of one's sins, they will eventually be vanquished if one chants the holy name of Hari, Krishna, Balaram, or Narayan. A very beautiful poet here because to get rid of sin is impossible. That is the point. So therefore, one who has committed sinful activity, such a person cannot escape. There is nowhere which one can go. They cannot escape. In that sense, we can also see this material world is a very dangerous place. So any activity, it may appear seemingly very small, very innocent, very sweet, but it may have a very ghastly repercussion. Now, for Samba, it was a romantic story. So it can be okay, youth, innocence, in a sweetness of relationship, affection. It may appear like that. Even modern day, they show romantic movies as if no, it's a very divine setting and everything is happening very divine and all that. Um, uh, so in Samba's case, the vibrations and the feeling would have been similar. But what was the repercussion? The repercussion was the entire Kaurava army was after his life. Is it not? That was the repercussion. Entire Kaurava army, which is formidable, whereas it's a very ghastly army in one sense. Kaurava's strength was enormous. And they are after one small poor boy, Samba. So they're just after one small poor boy. And so therefore, but what came to the rescue of Samba was because he was Krishna's son, the Lord Balaram came to settle the matter. And that is how Samba was saved. That Srila Prabhupada is quoting this beautiful story to explain that if we take shelter of Krishna, then all sins are going to be vanquished. So here it is telling that okay, light for light and heavy for heavy and light for light. But the repercussions of the activities in this material world can never be predicted. Even a simple activity and repercussions may be very, very heavy. So therefore, first of all, atonement is not permanent. Atonement only creates a temporary buffer in the situation. Atonement cannot ward off sin. It can only create a temporary buffer. That the sinful reaction, instead of coming in one way, it will come in some other way. Atonement cannot permanently nullify the sin because it only creates some temporary buffer, some temporary peaceful effect. That's all. Secondly, secondly, we can see, for atonement, the elephant breathing and then going in the mud example is given. Another example which is given is of the weeds. You cut off the weeds on the top, again the weeds will keep growing. You cut off the, so atonement means cut off the weed from the top, but is it gone? It's not gone. It will come up again. It's just in some time. So, so therefore, the next big problem is how much to atone for what. That is a very that is a very complex affair in this world. Because one may think I have not done much, but the repercussions may be very. Uh, so somebody who kills an ant as a playful sporting activity, then such people also think I have not done much, just a small ant. But then those who are non-vegetarian, they also feel like that. They say I have not done much. Like some of my colleagues, I was in Taiwan, and then some of these students, and then they were saying, okay, we can understand non-veg, but what about seafood? What's the problem with seafood? And then they said, what is the problem with what are these creatures? There are some sea creatures, no, which are like uh, huh? Oyster. No, not oyster. There's some sea creatures which are too much in abundance. Lobster. No. Some crabs. They that sometime our devotees went to bathe in the ocean and they were biting, jellyfish. I think they were talking about jellyfish. It looks like vegetation, huh, jellyfish. But I think they're talking about jellyfish. They said no, it is so much rampant. It sits in thousands and all that, no. And if you don't eat it and all that, they have all this kind of logic, that if you don't eat it, then anyways it's going to, flood the ocean and all that. So, so they say, okay, what's the problem in eating that? So, so sometimes, yeah, because in Taiwan there was this notion that seafood is not non-veg; it's seafood. So, so if you say, okay, I don't want to take non-veg, he'll still give you seafood. You to specify, I don't want seafood, I don't want non-veg. Still, they will cook in pork oil. So we cannot give you non-veg. They'll make vegetables, green leafy vegetables in pork oil. So, so, so the point is, everybody thinks that what they are doing is okay. In the same mentality taken forward, even a terrorist saying that what they are doing is okay. Okay. So this material world, the language of uh, so the problem with the living entity is that a living entity never wants to accept that the living entity wants to give a very upright face and keep justifying that upright face. And therefore, we see anything can be justified. And this is a great problem even for devotees. Because many times devotees also, they can justify anything in the name of Krishna consciousness. So sometimes devotees say, okay, it's okay, there because we are devotees. Because one is a devotee, everybody, one can justify anything actually. So this is very dangerous. That one just keeps a self-righteous tag, and then Uh, so therefore, the chanting of the holy names is the only saving grace, because the chanting not only cleanses the external but cleanses our heart, which there is no question and no notion of atonement doing that. So you see, sometimes devotees, they justify anything and everything. They uh, like sometimes devotees can justify. I mean, there is a likelihood, unless devotees can justify luxuries and comforts, saying, no, no, we are serving, working so hard for Krishna. No. So, uh, so sometimes devotees can justify, no, devotees can justify overeating, just devotees can justify lavish life, extravagance, in the name of preaching, in the name of, so this is something, sometimes devotees can justify being very neglectful in relationships, very, very neglectful in relationships, insensitive, neglectful. So you can say, no, 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 we are busy in service, like that. So, so therefore, we have to understand, one has to, uh, that is why the mentality has to be changed. The perceptions has to be changed. External repairs are not going to work out. So Krishna consciousness should not be taken as an atonement, with the mindset of an atonement, because then one will just want to do the basic minimum and then get rid of it. That's it. Like sometimes some devotees feel that, okay, once in a week on Sunday they can wear dhoti kurta tilak and come to temple and hear one class and maybe no, do some serving seva and then take prasad. That's it about spiritual life. And then see, look at it again back next Sunday. So the process of Krishna consciousness should not be taken with this mindset. The mindset of atonement is to just get rid of it. Whereas the mindset of bhakti is that I cannot live without it, not to just get done with it. So we may start chanting on the note of atonement, or in that with the mindset of atonement, that okay, let me just add some positive vibes in my life and something which can create more auspiciousness in my life. But then, as we grow, we have to understand that the holy name is our life and soul and goal and whole. Let's read further. तैस्तानि अघानि पूयन्ते तपोदान व्रतादिभिः न धर्मजं तद् हृदयं तदपि साङ्घ्रिसेवया. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. But as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:2-42, Bhakti Pareshana Bhavo Viraktir cha. Devotional service is so powerful that one who performs devotional service is immediately freed from all the sinful desires. All desires within this material world are sinful because material desire means sense gratification, which always involves action that is more or less sinful. Pure bhakti, however, is anya apilashita shunya. In other words, it is free from material desires, which result from karma and jnana. One who is situated in devotional service no longer has material desires, and therefore is beyond the sinful life. Material desires should be completely stopped. Otherwise, although one's austerities, penances, and charity may free one from sin for the time being, one's desires will reappear because his heart is impure. Thus, he will act sinfully and suffer. So, this is a very serious problem with atonement because the process of atonement only works at the external, just like cutting of weeds. But because the roots are there, it's just a matter of a day or two that the weeds will grow up again. So similarly, the main virus is the material desire. The desire of sense gratification to desire separate from Krishna. And unless that is given up, the external show is not going to work out. So therefore, as a devotee, as a sadhaka, we have to understand that our external show as a devotee wearing those Vibhuti Tilak is not going to work out. That's what I said, Sadhaka Emakila Tilak Gaura Milena. So as a devotee, we have to understand that our matrix is that yes, am I developing taste for the Krishna Katha and Krishna Nam? Am I developing taste for serving the Vaishnavas? And if not, then we are not on the track of bhakti. We're doing something else. Because bhakti means taste for hearing, chanting, serving. Name Ruchi, Jivadaya, Vaishnava Seva. So the Ruchi is missing, the Daya is missing, Seva is missing. And where are we? and, and who are we? So, therefore, uh, Shri Jagannath Baldev, Shri Maharani, Sudarshan Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Who are we? So there is one BYS seminar series by Jayapataka Maharaj. So not DYS, BYS, BYS. You know what is BYS? Oh, you also don't know. You also don't know. There is a series of seminars which we take time to time. That is called as BYS. So BYS is advanced, course. Comes after DYS. So BYS means behave yourself. There is one very nice BYS seminar series by Jayapataka Maharaj called as Vaishnav K. Who is a Vaishnav? And then there are all these qualities of a Vaishnav. So we can have a nice matrix, and it exposes that okay, we are not. So we need to purify our hearts. Being so this is so therefore the mindset of atonement is to just get rid of it. That's it. But the mindset in bhakti is very different. It's not just to get rid of it. It is to drown in it, basically. Never to come out. Never to come out. See further. So no activity of bhakti you should perform in an atonement mode. Uh, as if we are paying a tax, crying, grudging, ooh, and as if somebody is not going to give us prasad, don't do it. So like that service should not be done. Like that program should not be done. Should be done with great heart. The fervor should be so much that even after that time is up, means the allotted time for the morning program is up or something, still one is going on because there's so much momentum. Why not just stopping only? So, Sastra Maharaj speaks about this. He says, okay, the japa, the good momentum is what? The 16 hours formally are over, but one is not able to stop. One feels, oh, at least two, three more I can do. Like that. So that means it's good japa. So therefore, Sastra Maharaj says, the japa begins from the 17th round. 16 is official. But the point is, uh, so like, what is our fervor? We want to do more. Want to do more. That's really the fervor. The same is true for everything, for every activity you do. Yes. Because Navashraya, because of a distress, material distress also, how is it like different from, let's say, atonement, from, let's say, saving for sinful days? Yeah. So Namashraya is the best form of atonement. But let's not just have an atonement mood, but have an embracing mood. Let me grab onto the holy name. I cannot survive without it. Atonement means we take a little bit and get rid of it. But chanting of the holy names not just atonement, it's food. We look forward for food, is it not? We look forward to prasad. Hey, breakfast, where's prasad? What is the prasad? No prasad. Very angry. Then somebody says, no, bro, today's fasting. And then you cannot say anything, but then you're feeling, अरे fasting को भी आज ही आना था क्या ना? Something like that. So it's like You had a point? Similar question. Yeah. So the more is take more and more. See it as food. You see it as food. The holy name, the Vaishnav Seva, the holy glories of the Lord. You see it as food, and therefore a devotee should look forward to it. That, okay, let's do tomorrow's Mangalarti and very insistent. I was looking forward to it. Hey, when will the next time slot come and I start japa? Hey. And not that, oh, why did we become marching so early? It's so good. No, not like that. So that way. Let's read further then. Ajnana अथवा ज्ञान
अज्ञानात् अथवा ज्ञानात्
उत्तमश्लोकनामय्य
उत्तमश्लोकनामय
सङ्कीर्तितमघं पुंसो
सङ्कीर्तनं पुंसो
दहेत् एधो यतानलः.
जनेभ्योऽतानः।
As a fire burns dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without fail all the reactions of one's sinful activity. Fire will act regardless of whether handled by an innocent child or someone well aware of its power. For example, if a field of straw or dry grass is set afire, either by an elderly man who knows the power of fire or by a child who does not, the grass will be burned to ashes. Similarly, one may or may not know the power of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but if one chants the holy name, so such a person will become free from all sinful reactions. Hmm. Here to say the holy name very, very powerful because whether it's chanted knowingly or unknowingly, it burns into ashes all the reactions of our sinful puppet. Fire will act regardless of whether handled by an innocent child or someone well aware of its power. For example, if a field of straw or dry grass is set afire, either by an elderly man who knows the power of fire or by a child who does not, the grass will be burnt to ashes. Similarly, one may or may not know the power of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but if one chants the holy name, he will become free from sinful reactions. So, this is the meaning of medicine. Holy name is compared to the medicine. इनिच्योषधीमय नचिकारुलागे हरिनाम महामंत्र लाओ तुम मांगे. So, Bhaktivinoda Tagore is quoting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Inishyashadimaya Nachibara. Say Harinam Mantra, lao tumi man. So it has this medicinal effect. Whether one knows or does not know, the medicine will have its. Similarly, this is the nature of coming in touch with the holy glories of the Lord and the holy names of the Lord. And whether one knows or not, such a person stands to benefit. Everybody stands to benefit. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of jaundice patient also. The jaundice patient, nothing appears to be palatable and sweet. Although one may be eating sweet. So one may be eating sweet, that does not guarantee he'll feel sweet. This is much. If the person is jaundice, if he is eating sweet, he does not feel sweet. So he'll feel it bitter. So what is the cure? The cure is to purify one's heart. That is the only cure. Rajastamo bhavo, kamalogadayate. Let's read further. यथागतं वीर्यतमम्
यथागतं
उपयुक्तं यदृच्छया
उपयुक्तं यद्रक्षा
जानतोऽपि आत्मगुणान्
अगाधतोऽपि आत्मगुणा
कुर्यन्मन्त्रोऽपि उदारितः
कुर्यन्मन्त्रोऽपि
If a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine takes that medicine or is forced to take it, it will act even without his knowledge. Because the potency does not depend on the patient's understanding. Similarly, even though one does not know the value of chanting the holy names of the Lord, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be very effective. But in the Western countries, as the Hare Krishna movement is spreading, learned scholars and other thoughtful men are realizing its effectiveness. For example, Dr. J. Stilson Judah, a learned scholar, has been very much attracted to this movement because he has actually seen what turns hippies into happies. Whether hippies are addicted to drugs into pure Vaishnavas who voluntarily become servants of Krishna and humanity. Even a few years ago, such hippies did not know the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But now they're chanting it and becoming pure Vaishnavas. Thus, they're becoming free from all sinful activities, such as illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. This is a practical proof of the effectiveness of the Hare Krishna movement, which is supported in this verse. One may or may not know the value of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but if one somehow or the other chants it, he will immediately be purified, just as one who takes shelter of a pure, potent medicine will feel its effects. Regardless of whether he takes it knowingly or unknowingly. Mm, yeah. So chanting has the power to transport. It also has the power to transform. And therefore, all these sinful proclivities. Yeah. So chanting is going to act. That is a guarantee which is being given here. Many times in this material world, the results depend on our perceptions, our state of the level of consciousness. So, therefore, the chanting of the holy names is very effective because it acts in all the directions. So, the power of the practices of Krishna consciousness is so intense that one can practically forget. So Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any background history. It is just dependent on the willingness to take shelter in the present moment. That's all. So what is our past history and backlog? Krishna consciousness is not at all dependent on that. So how am I chanting? So how important is the chanting of the holy names to us? We can understand. The holy name is ready to reveal everything, the entirety of the spiritual world, Krishna's qualities. It is so amazing. So the efficacy, the effectiveness of the Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada is speaking about that. So transformation is the proof of the efficacy of the process. Like you remember, as Muktavananda Prabhu was mentioning, that when you approach anyone for an invitation to Krishna's family or with a book, so we were talking about transformation. The, the Muktavananda Prabhu was saying that who can reciprocate in what way we don't know. Anyone can reciprocate. Remember. And he was telling that we never know we can be instrument, but that person can pick up Krishna consciousness like fire. So it doesn't depend on externals. A person may be in whatever setting. It doesn't depend on externals. That is why the many great acharyas, they don't put any filtration criteria. Why Mahaprabhu is ready to give mercy to everyone? Because potentially everyone can take it up. They're all pure devotees, part and parcel of Krishna. Similarly, you see Narada Muni, Narada Muni is going to very sincere and dedicated candidates like Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj. But Narada Muni is going to anybody and everybody also. Mrigari, see? He went to Mrigari. Uh, he went to Ratnakar Thakur. Unnecessary dark web, no possibility. Now am I going to dark web like somebody going to some terrorist group and preaching there and making them chant? So, how many going to Ratnakot dark web like that? Okay. So you see why the great acharyas many times they don't discriminate. The two reasons, because one is because they got intoxicated, so intoxicated man doesn't discriminate. That is intoxicated. And second, who can speak to what level and what speed? We never know. It is just a matter of a flick of time. So this power or the efficacy of the holy name is being highlighted here. And you see what is the transformatory no, potency of the holy that can create such a wonderful transformation, not only in the lives of few people, but in the lives of everyone. Let's see further. Okay, we have to read 20 now. 20, right? Text 20. Shishukovacha
Suvacha
evam subhi nidniya dharmam bhagavatam nipa tadyamaya pashan nirmuchya vipram vidyor amumukan. Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, having thus perfectly judged the principles of devotional service with reasoning and arguments, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu released the Brahmana Jamal from the bondage of the Yamadutas and saved him from imminent death. So Krishna Gana is not just theory, there is action. So we may keep sitting. One may say, no, Shavaram Kirtanam is everything. Krishna Gana just keep sitting, just keep hearing and chanting. No. If you keep doing hearing and chanting, there will be action. What will be the action? There will be transformation of mind. And when heart is transformed, then there is going to be super action. Because only a sinful heart will sit peacefully shirking of any service to the Lord. But when the heart is purified, one may want to run big for more and more service. Like that. So there is tremendous action in Krishna consciousness. The heart is purified. Okay, let's see further. Maybe one more verse we'll take up for today. This is no purpose. So we go to 21. Iti pratyodita yamya
इति प्रचोदयाय
dutayatva yamantikam yamarajne yatha sarvam
यमराजैन्यथा सर्वम्
achachakshur arindama.
अशुशक्षोरिन्नमः
My dear King Parikshit, the subduer of all the enemies, after the servants of Yamaraj had been answered by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, they went to Yamaraj and explained to him everything that had happened. So in this verse, the word pratyuditaha is very significant. The servants of Yamaraj are so powerful that they can never be hindered anywhere. But this time they were baffled and disappointed in their attempt to take away a man they considered sinful. Therefore, they immediately returned to Yamaraj and described to him everything that had happened. Okay, one more verse. द्विजपाशादिनिर्मुक्तो
विनिर्मुक्तो
गताभि प्राकृतिं गतः
गतापि प्राकृतिकता
भवान्ते शिरसा विष्णु
भवन्ते शिरसा विष्णु
किङ्करान् दर्शनोत्सवः.
विकिरणादर्शनोऽस्ति
Having been released from the nooses of Yamaraj's servants, the Brahmana Jamila, now free from fear, came to his senses and immediately offered obeisances to the Vishnudutas. By bowing his head against at their lotus feet, he was extremely pleased by their presence, for he had seen them save his life from the hands of the servants of Yamaraj. Vaishnavas are also Vishnudutas because they carry out the orders of Krishna. Lord Krishna is very eager for all the conditioned souls rotting in this material world to surrender to him and be saved from material pangs in this life. Lord Krishna is very eager for all the conditioned souls rotting in this material world to surrender to him and be saved from the material pangs in this life and punishment in hellish conditions after death. A Vaishnava therefore tries to bring conditioned souls to their senses. Those who are fortunate like Ajamina will be saved by the Visuddhas or Vaishnavas, and thus they return home back home, back to God. The Prabhupada is beautifully describing here that how the Vaishnavas are also like Vishnudutas, and their interference in our life creates auspiciousness, or marks or heralds the auspicious beginning of our lives. See here it says. Yeah, so those who are fortunate. So therefore here it's being said that the Vaishnavas are like the Vishnudutas. So they create auspiciousness in our lives. The Vaishnavas not only create auspiciousness, but uh, they give us a second chance. So whenever we come in touch with devotees, our consciousness gets elevated and we get again and again a chance to be able to reselect ourselves and reinstate ourselves in service of Krishna. That is the point. Okay, so let's stop here for today. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, हरि बोल।